saved. I get just excited that I know who Jesus is. And there are plenty of people in the world that wake up every day.
It started with a Facebook post. I keep PPL out of my personal business, but yes, I filed for divorce 2 weeks ago. God bless you all that have called and texted me. Cheers to a new journey. That was Quinteria Massey. December 2025. Not a cry for help. A celebration. Cheers to a new journey, like toasting champagne instead of ending a marriage. No sadness. No regret. 2 weeks later, Pastor Dequarius Green was shot in the eye. The person you trust most can hurt you the worst. When a man of God falls, everybody's got an opinion. But opinions don't bring back the dead. December 2025. Level Plains, Alabama. Then came the gunshot. Then came the little girl, running to neighbors, begging someone to save her daddy. Then came the Facebook Live, Tracy Palmer, eyes red, voice shaking with rage, telling the world about a man who couldn't defend himself. Over an hour of secrets, accusations, painting a picture of abuse nobody saw coming. Then came the sister. Green's sister. And she wasn't having it. It's crazy how one person can get on this app and tell 1,000 lies and people run with it. Direct. Angry. Protective. She came for Tracy with everything, calling out lies, defending her brother, exposing text messages that told a different story. By the time Pastor Dequarius Green's funeral happened, the internet had decided who was guilty. Folks picked sides like choosing teams. Team Tracy versus Team Quinteria. Team, he was abused, versus Team, she was the victim. Sharing posts, screenshotting comments, writing think pieces like they had inside knowledge. The comments section became a courthouse. The share button became a verdict. Social media justice moves fast, hits hard, rarely waits for facts. People don't want complexity. They want villains and heroes. A story that fits their worldview. When it doesn't fit, they bend it, twist it until it makes sense. Pastor Dequarius Green never got to tell his side. He died days after the shooting, voice silenced forever. All that's left are people claiming to know what really happened. His wife, his friend, his sister, his church. Competing narratives and a little girl who watched her father get shot and has to live with that image every day. Before you pick your side, ask yourself, what if you're wrong? What if the truth is messier than your timeline can handle? What if everyone involved is both victim and villain, saint and sinner all at once? The only thing we know for certain is that Pastor Dequarius Green is dead. And somebody needs to tell his story. The real story. If this story matters to you, if you believe every victim deserves to be heard, hit subscribe right now. Turn on notifications. What comes next will challenge everything you think you know about domestic violence, faith, and love. Don't let Pastor Green's story disappear. Don't let his daughter's trauma become another viral moment. Stay with us. Bear witness. Demand justice. Let me tell you what actually went down. Before the gunshot and the Facebook wars, you need to know who Pastor Dequarius Green was. Not the headlines. The man. His friends called him Slim. Some just called him Green. He was pastor of Elba Zion Missionary Baptist Church, a small Montgomery congregation where everybody knew everybody. Before ministry, Green worked at Walmart. Regular job, regular hours. He'd clock in, do his work, and still minister to folks in the aisles. Couldn't turn off the calling even when stocking shelves. Minister Devontae Palmer knew Green from those Walmart days. Palmer would stop by after his shift to check on him. 5, 10 minutes. Two men of faith talking about life, about God, about walking righteously in a crooked world. Palmer remembers Green showing up at his church one day, tapping his shoulder, saying, "Brother Palmer." Just appeared. That was Green. The type to surprise you just to say hello. People talked about that, how Green would just appear. No warning, no agenda, just presence. He'd show up at your church, your job, your house. Making sure you were good. Making sure you felt seen. In a world where everybody's too busy, Green made time. He made you matter. At Elba Zion, he gave hugs every Sunday. Real ones. The kind that said, I see you, I love you, you belong here. One woman said, he used to give me hugs every time I went to church. He always had your back and he was just caring. Period. Another friend said no matter what you did, Green was going to show love. He wasn't flashy. Wasn't building some megachurch empire or chasing viral fame. Just a man doing ministry with love, consistency, his whole heart. Respectful, kind, always dressed nice. Not expensive, but put together. The kind of presentation that said, I take this seriously, I take you seriously, I take God seriously. Minister Palmer put it plainly. Pastor Green, he was human, right? He was a man of God. He was a father. He was a husband, a hard worker. Human. Not perfect, not some untouchable saint. A man trying to do right, trying to love well, trying to balance faith and family in a world that makes it harder than it should be. Green was a father. His kids meant everything. He showed up for them, protected them, wanted them to know they were loved. He worked hard, Walmart, funeral home, church, whatever side hustles kept things together. Nothing handed to him. He earned every dollar, every relationship, every ounce of respect. His community loved him back. When he preached, people listened. When he prayed, people felt it. When he walked into a room, the energy shifted. Green brought light, hope. The kind of faith that makes you believe things can get better, that God hasn't forgotten you, that tomorrow might hurt less. But being a good man doesn't protect you. Being humble doesn't save you. Being loving doesn't shield you. Being a man of God doesn't mean the devil won't find you. Pastor D'Aquarius Green did not deserve to die. Minister Palmer said it, the church said it, his friends said it. He did not deserve to die. But deserve has nothing to do with what happened next. Cheers to a new journey. That's what Quinteria Massey wrote when she announced her divorce. Not, please pray for us. Not, this wasn't easy. Just a celebration. She filed 2 weeks before Christmas and posted like she was popping champagne. For a man who believed in marriage vows, who promised forever in front of God, that post had to cut deep. But Green wasn't the type to air his business on Facebook. He kept his pain private, between him and God. While his wife celebrated freedom online, he was trying to figure out how his marriage fell apart. And then there was Tracy Palmer. Tracy called herself Green's friend. His confidant. The person there when things got hard, when the marriage cracked, when Green needed someone to talk to. She was on the phone with him for hours. The one he laughed with. The one who knew things about his marriage most people didn't. But according to Green's sister, Tracy wasn't just a friend. She was involved. Romantically. And by December, Green was trying to cut her off. The sister went on Facebook and said it plainly. Please don't let me expose what was said about you in the group chat for my brother-in-law. He was tired of you and he stopped answering your calls if you want to be real. Tell that. 3 people tangled in something messy. A pastor navigating a failing marriage. A wife who wanted out. Another woman who wouldn't let go. Tracy kept calling. Green stopped answering. The sister said he was tired, he'd had enough, he was creating distance. But when someone won't let you go, when they keep reaching and you keep ignoring, that's when things get dangerous. When emotions run too hot. When people do things that can't be undone. Green's sister said something else revealing. If you know, you know. When it comes to my sister, she isn't going to prove a point to anyone, especially when it's from someone that's been jealous of her. Jealous. According to the sister, Tracy Palmer was jealous of Quinteria. Jealous of the wife. And jealousy is vicious. Makes people irrational, obsessive. Makes them believe they deserve something that was never theirs. Picture this, Green caught between a wife who filed for divorce and celebrated publicly, and another woman who allegedly couldn't accept he was done. He's trying to maintain his ministry, be there for his kids, keep his head above water while his personal life drowns him. Quinteria says one thing. Tracy says another. The sister has her perspective. And Green. He kept quiet. Even when people slandered his name, when rumors spread through church and community, when his reputation was on the line, he didn't defend himself publicly. He took it to God. He prayed. He tried to handle it with grace. By December 2025, Green's marriage was over. Quinteria filed the papers. Tracy was still calling, still reaching out, still part of his life even though he was allegedly trying to end it. Green was caught in the middle, trying to do right while protecting himself from further pain. The love triangle wasn't some soap opera. 3 real people with real feelings and real damage. A pastor who loved too deeply. A wife who wanted freedom. Another woman who wouldn't accept goodbye. Jealousy, manipulation, secrets, all simmering under the surface, building pressure, waiting to explode. And it did. 1,000 lies. That's what Green's sister said Tracy Palmer was telling. But Tracy had receipts. She had stories. She had details that, if true, painted a picture nobody wanted to see. A pastor trapped in an abusive marriage, suffering in silence, protecting a woman who was destroying him. According to Tracy, Quinteria's infidelity wasn't a one-time mistake. It was a pattern. Tracy claimed Quinteria slept with everyone, neighbors, coaches at her son's basketball games, military buddies. She'd disappear for hours, come home late smelling like someone else, and Green would just pray harder, hoping she'd change. Then there was the herpes accusation. Tracy said Quinteria told Green he gave her herpes. Accused him of cheating, of bringing disease into their marriage. Green was devastated. He'd never had an outbreak, never cheated. Tracy told him to get tested. So he did, with Quinteria sitting right there. When results came back, Green was clean. Negative. The doctor told Quinteria she had herpes, but Green didn't. She got it from someone else. And she knew it. But that didn't stop her from spreading the lie. Then there was the barbershop incident. Green had a regular barber who cut his and his stepson's hair. One day, Green was in the chair getting lined up when the barber's phone rang on the counter. Screen facing up. Green glanced over and saw it, a naked picture of his wife. His wife's body on another man's phone. The barber just shrugged. Said something like, "Man, she came on to me. You can't be mad at me." Tracy claimed Quinteria didn't stop there. Green found a neighbor's shoes in the house. When he asked, Quinteria said they belonged to the kids staying with them. But they were a grown man's shoes. The neighbor's shoes. Because Quinteria was sleeping with the neighbor too. According to Tracy, this is why Quinteria had 2 mortgages. She couldn't stay in the first house because she'd been sleeping with a man next door and needed to escape the mess. Through all of it, Green covered for her. Protected her reputation. Didn't tell the church. Didn't tell his family the whole truth. Just kept praying, kept hoping, kept trying to love her into being faithful. But Quinteria didn't just betray Green. According to Tracy, she destroyed him. She allegedly called Walmart, made up stories about domestic violence, said Green was dangerous. Because people believe women, because nobody wants to risk keeping an abuser, Walmart let him go. Green lost the job he'd worked for years. Lost income. Lost stability. All because his wife lied. Tracy said Green never fought back. Never got a lawyer. Never defended himself publicly. Just took it. Gave it to God. Believed truth would prevail. But the damage was done. Reputation ruined. Job gone. Marriage a shell. And Quinteria kept living like none of it mattered. Tracy's version painted Quinteria as manipulative, unfaithful, abusive. A woman who used tears and accusations as weapons. Who knew exactly what she was doing and didn't care who she destroyed. But was it true? Was Tracy telling the whole story, or just the parts that made Quinteria look like a monster and Green look like a saint? Nobody could answer. Because the only person who knew the full truth wasn't here to tell it anymore. Tracy Palmer called it the Devil's Den. Elba Zion Missionary Baptist Church, where Pastor D'Aquarius Green preached every Sunday, poured out his heart. But according to Tracy, that church wasn't helping Green. It was trapping him. Green loved Elba Zion. It was his ministry, his calling. The congregation was faithful and believed in him. When his marriage started falling apart, the church elders had one message: work on your marriage. Stay together. Honor your vows. Don't give up. Sounds noble. Good Christian counsel. Except they didn't know what was happening behind closed doors. The infidelity, the lies, the alleged abuse. They just knew divorce was bad and marriage was sacred, so they pushed Green to stay. To try harder. To forgive again and again. Tracy said every time Green tried to leave Quinteria, every time he started feeling like himself, the church pulled him back. Brother Green, God hates divorce. They'd remind him of his position, his responsibility as pastor to set an example. Made him feel like leaving meant failing God. And Green listened. Because he was a man of faith. Because he believed in spiritual authority. Because he didn't want to disappoint people who trusted him. Tracy experienced that pressure firsthand. She went to Elba Zion once to support Green. Walked in and immediately felt it. Hostile energy, judgmental stares, cold shoulders. Women catered to Quinteria like royalty. The First Lady. The woman they decided deserved protection, even though they didn't know what she was doing to him. Tracy sat back, trying to blend in. But Quinteria didn't sit up front where First Ladies typically sit. She sat right across from Tracy. Staring. Not blinking. Marking territory, letting Tracy know she didn't belong. The energy was so eerie, so dark, Tracy left before service ended. When she told Green, he wasn't surprised. He knew Quinteria was controlling. Knew she didn't want him talking to anyone, especially women, especially Tracy. By this point, Green and Quinteria weren't even sleeping in the same room. According to Tracy, they lived like roommates. Separate beds, separate lives, existing in the same house for appearances. Green didn't want intimacy with Quinteria. Didn't trust her. Didn't feel safe. But the church kept saying, work it out. God will heal your marriage. Green's isolation went deeper. Tracy claimed Quinteria cut him off from family too. Controlled who he talked to, when, what he said. Green's own mother wasn't even consistent in his life, according to the sisters' posts. Quinteria allegedly created distance between Green and anyone who might tell him the truth, that he deserved better, that he needed to leave, that this marriage was killing him. So Green stayed. Not because he wanted to, but because everyone said it was the right thing. The godly thing. Every time he tried to establish boundaries, someone reminded him of his vows, his calling, his duty. The church didn't mean to hurt him. They thought they were helping, saving a marriage, honoring God. But what they were actually doing was pushing a man deeper into a toxic situation he was desperate to escape. And when he finally did try to leave, it was too late. Sunday. The house was quiet. Too quiet. Quinteria took the boys to her grandma's house. Both of them. When Tracy called, she asked where everybody was. Green said Quinteria took the kids to her grandmother's. Tracy made a joke. Dark humor. I hope she ain't down there trying to kill you. They both laughed. But it wasn't really funny. Looking back, it wasn't a joke. First time in a year Quinteria took the kids there. A year of living in level plains, never done it before. But now, suddenly, the boys needed to visit Grandma. Sunday. 5 days before Christmas. 5 days before everything fell apart. Monday. Quinteria was mad. Green's daughter was coming for the holidays. His little girl. But Quinteria didn't want her there. They argued. Green stood his ground. This was his child. She deserved to be with him for Christmas. Quinteria made it clear, she wasn't happy. Green called Tracy. He always called. Hours on the phone every day. Venting. Laughing. trying to stay sane. He told her about the argument, that Quinteria was acting strange, angrier than usual. Tracy listened. Told him to be careful, keep distance, don't engage. But Green couldn't ignore his wife. Same house. They had a son together. He had to keep peace, especially with the holidays coming. Tuesday. Another fight. About a tablet. Quinteria took their son's tablet to work. The kid was home. Why take his tablet to her job? Tracy told him straight, don't go to her job. That's a setup. She's trying to get you there to start something. Green listened. He didn't go. Told Quinteria the tablet could wait. But tension was building. Every conversation is a potential explosion. Every little thing is a reason to argue. Green was trying to de-escalate, keep things calm for the kids, and make it through Christmas. But you could feel it. Something was coming. Tracy talked to Green multiple times daily. Sometimes hours. He'd tell her what Quinteria said, did, how she acted. Tracy would tell him to protect himself, stay away, don't be alone with her. But how do you avoid someone you live with? How do you protect yourself from your own wife? Wednesday. Thursday. The week moved forward like a countdown. Green kept trying. Kept praying. Kept hoping things would settle. But Quinteria was different. Distant. Cold. According to Tracy, she'd been planning something. Boys at Grandma's. Arguments picking up. The sudden need to provoke him. All leading somewhere. Tracy said she could feel it. That eerie feeling. The same one at church when Quinteria stared without blinking. Something dark. Wrong. She kept warning Green. Be careful. Watch your back. Don't trust her. But Green loved his kids. He wasn't leaving his house, abandoning his child because his wife was acting crazy. He'd dealt with her moods before. He'd prayed through worse. He could handle this. He thought he could handle this. By Friday, the house felt like a bomb waiting to explode. Green's daughter was there. Quinteria was seething. Everyone who knew what was happening could feel it. Something was about to break. They just didn't know it would end in blood. December 2025. Level Plains, Alabama. The house where Pastor Dequarius Green thought he could keep his family safe. Only Green's daughter was home. His little girl. The other children were at Grandma's, just like Quinteria planned. No witnesses who could talk. Just one child. The daughter Quinteria didn't want to go there. The argument started like all the others. Tension. Accusations. Voices rising. But this time was different. Quinteria had already called the police. Before anything happened, before Green knew there was a problem. Setting the stage. Green knew it was bad. He could feel it. The dark energy Tracy warned about. He needed to get out. Needed to get his daughter out. He grabbed his keys, grabbed his baby girl. Come on, let's go, put this baby in the car. He was leaving. He got her in the back seat, strapped her in the child safety seat. She was safe. He was going to get them both away. But Quinteria followed him outside. They argued in the driveway. Green trying to get in the driver's seat, trying to leave, trying to de-escalate like always. But this time, she didn't let him leave. The gunshot sounded like the world cracking open. Green's daughter was in the back seat when her father was shot in the eye. Through the windshield, she saw it. Saw the gun. Saw her daddy's head snap back. Then she saw Quinteria close the door. Just close it. Like nothing happened. Green was dying. The bullet went through his eye into his brain. He should have dropped right there. But he didn't. Because his daughter was in the car. His baby was locked in that back seat with the child safety lock on. She couldn't get out. So Green, with blood pouring from his face, with a bullet in his skull, with his life draining away, reached for that car door. Hands shaking. Vision going dark. But he found the handle. Unlocked it. Pulled it open. Run to the neighbor. Run. Get help. Go. And she did. She ran. Screaming. Crying. She ran to the neighbor's house and begged them to help. My daddy, my hero, he saved me. That's what she said later. Because even dying, even being shot in the face, her father's last act was saving her life. Green collapsed. The neighbors called 911. Police arrived to find a man bleeding out, a terrified child sobbing, and Quinteria standing there with her version already prepared. Green was rushed to the hospital. He fought. 4 days, he fought. They put him under protective watch and gave him an alias. His family came. His friends prayed. The church held vigils. Green balloons rose into the sky. But the bullet had done its damage. The trauma was too severe. Days after the shooting, Pastor Dequarius Green died. The man who gave hugs every Sunday. The man who showed up unannounced. The man who loved too deeply and stayed too long. He died in a hospital bed, never getting to tell his side, never getting justice, never getting to hold his daughter and tell her it wasn't her fault. And the only thing she'd remember was watching her daddy get shot, and knowing he used his last moments to save her. Green died days after the shooting, but the war for his story was just beginning. Tracy Palmer went live on Facebook. Over an hour. She had things to say. Things Green never said because he was too humble, too forgiving, too concerned about protecting Quinteria even while she allegedly destroyed him. Tracy told it all. The infidelity. The herpes accusation that was Quinteria's lie. The barbershop with naked photos. The neighbors, coaches, military buddies. The way Quinteria burned his clothes, gave his designer bags away, made him lose his Walmart job with false domestic violence claims. The mental abuse. The manipulation. Tracy said Green was the victim. Suffered in silence because he believed in forgiveness, kept hoping his wife would change. She said Quinteria was calculating, heartless, planning this for months. The boys suddenly at Grandma's. Arguments escalating. The police call before the shooting. All premeditated. Tracy cried. Real tears. Raw emotion. She said Green was her friend, they talked every day, she knew him better than anyone, she watched him suffer and now he was dead. Then Green's sister saw the video. And she came for Tracy with everything. It's crazy how one person can get on this app and tell 1,000 lies and people ran with it. The sister said Tracy was lying. Everything twisted, manipulated. She said Tracy wasn't just Green's friend. She was involved with him. And jealous of Quinteria. Please don't let me expose what was said about you in the group chat from my brother-in-law about you. He was tired of you and he stopped answering your calls if you want to be real. Tell that. According to the sister, Green was trying to cut Tracy off before he died. He was done. Tracy couldn't handle it. So now she was on Facebook rewriting history, trying to make herself the hero, trying to destroy Quinteria because she couldn't have Green. The sister kept going. If Tracy really cared about Green, she'd let his family speak for him. Tracy was making this about herself. Tracy was jealous, obsessive, manipulative. Social media exploded. Team Tracy versus Team Quinteria. Team, he was the victim, versus Team, she was protecting herself. People who'd never met anyone involved had opinions. Strong ones. They shared posts. Argued in comments. Made graphics. Wrote essays. Some believed Tracy. It made sense. Quinteria was a manipulative abuser who premeditated murder. Green suffered in silence because men don't get believed. The system failed him. Others believed the sister. Tracy was a jealous woman scorned. Trying to destroy Quinteria because Green rejected her. Her hour-long Facebook Live was unhinged, the behavior of someone who wasn't just a friend. And others said both women were probably lying. The truth was somewhere in the middle. Relationships are complicated and nobody outside that house really knew what happened. The investigation continued. Police labeled it a domestic incident. But no charges filed. No arrests. Just questions. Just competing narratives. Just two women claiming to know the truth about a man who wasn't here to confirm or deny it. Who gets to tell Pastor D'Aquarius Green's story? His wife. His friend. His sister. The church. The internet. The only person who really knew what happened was dead. And everyone else was just guessing. While the internet fought, Montgomery mourned. Elba Zion Missionary Baptist Church, where Pastor D'Aquarius Green had preached every Sunday, held a prayer vigil. People came together. Cried together. Prayed together. Not for answers. Just for peace. Just to remember the man they'd lost. Green balloons filled the air. Dozens of them. Rising up, floating away, carrying prayers and memories. Green balloons for a man named Green. Simple. Beautiful. All they could do. People stood in circles, sharing stories. Minister Devontae Palmer, who knew Green from their Walmart days, spoke through tears. "I'm devastated. I can't believe this happened to him." And then to find out how it happened and who did it, that was even more devastating. He paused. Pastor Green, he was human, right? He was a man of God. He was a father. He was a husband, a hard worker. He did not deserve to die. He did not deserve to die. Others echoed the same. He didn't deserve this. He was good. He was kind. One woman said, "He used to give me hugs every time I went to church. He always had your back and he was just caring. Period." Another friend said, "He was very loving. He was loving, caring, kind. No matter what you did, Green was going to show love." The church released a statement. "With heavy hearts yet unwavering faith, we share that our beloved Pastor D'Aquarius Green has transitioned from this earthly life into eternal rest. We thank God for his time of faithful service, love, and spiritual guidance. Though we mourn, we rejoice knowing that a life well lived in Christ has now received the promised reward." That's how they chose to remember him. Not with the mess. Not with the drama. Not with Facebook wars. They remembered the ministry, the service, the faith, the love he gave freely. But you can't separate the man from how he died. You can talk about the hugs and the surprise visits and the humility, but at the end of every memory is the same fact. He was shot in the eye in front of his daughter. He died because of violence in a home. He died at the hands of someone who promised to love him. His daughter was left traumatized. A little girl who watched her father get shot, who heard him tell her to run, who knew he unlocked that door with his dying breath to save her. She'd carry that forever. Every birthday without him. Every Father's Day. Every moment she needed her daddy and he wasn't there. His family was shattered. A mother who lost her son. Siblings who lost their brother. Children who lost their father. A congregation that lost their pastor. Friends who lost someone who made them feel seen and loved. Montgomery lost a man who believed in second chances. Who showed up when he didn't have to. Who made people feel like they mattered. And no matter how many green balloons float into the sky, no matter how many vigils are held, none of it brings him back. Domestic violence leaves no winners. Just graves and questions nobody can answer. Just children who watched their parents destroy each other. Just communities trying to make sense of senseless loss. Pastor D'Aquarius Green did not deserve to die. But deserve doesn't matter when you're already gone. Domestic violence has no face. No gender. No income bracket. No religion. It doesn't matter if you're a pastor who preaches love every Sunday. It doesn't care if you're respected. It just destroys. Pastor D'Aquarius Green was, according to multiple accounts, a victim of domestic violence. But nobody saw it. Or maybe people saw and didn't know what they were looking at. Because when we think about domestic violence, we picture a woman with bruises, afraid to speak. We don't picture a 6-foot pastor who gives hugs every Sunday. We don't picture men at all. And that's the problem. Male victims are invisible. They suffer in silence because society says real men don't get abused. Real men fight back. Real men leave. But what happens when the abuse isn't physical? What happens when it's manipulation, control, isolation, lies that destroy your reputation and livelihood? What happens when you love someone who's killing you from the inside out? Tracy said Green never told anyone the full truth. He protected Quinteria's reputation even while she allegedly destroyed his. He covered her infidelity, lies, and schemes. He lost his job because of false accusations and never fought back. He just prayed. Hoped she'd change. Kept going back. That's the pattern. Keep going back. Keep forgiving. Keep hoping this time will be different. Keep believing love can fix what's broken. And by the time you realize it can't, it's too late. Green's fatal flaw was loving someone who couldn't love him back. Or maybe wouldn't. Or maybe didn't know how, because a hurt person doesn't know nothing but hurt. Unhealed pain spreads, infects, kills. But here's what we know for sure. A little girl watched her father get shot in the eye. She heard him tell her to run. She knows he used his dying breath to unlock that door and save her life. She'll carry that trauma forever. That's not up for debate. That's not a competing narrative. That's a fact. Justice is still pending. No charges filed. Just an investigation labeled domestic incident. Meanwhile, the internet fights over who's telling the truth. Tracy says one thing. The sister says another. Quinteria hasn't spoken publicly. And Green never will. The competing truths will never fully reconcile. We'll never know every detail of what happened in that house, in that marriage, in those final moments. But what we do know, domestic violence doesn't care if you're a pastor. It doesn't care if you're good. It doesn't care if you pray or hope or forgive. It just destroys. Takes fathers from daughters. Takes sons from mothers. Takes lives that could have been saved if someone had recognized the signs and said something. So recognize the signs. If someone you know is being isolated from family, losing jobs because of their partner's lies, covering bruises, physical or emotional, speak up. If you're in a toxic relationship constantly forgiving abuse, hoping someone will change who's shown you exactly who they are, get help. Leave. Survive. Because Pastor Dequarius Green didn't. And his daughter has to live with that forever. Domestic violence has no face. But it leaves behind bodies. And the only way to stop it is to see it, name it, and refuse to let it hide in silence anymore. Pastor Dequarius Green. Remember that name. Not because of how he died, but because of how he lived. A man who gave hugs every Sunday. A man who showed up unannounced just to say hello. A man who worked at Walmart, preached on Sundays, and tried to love people the way he believed God wanted him to. A man who was human, flawed, caught in something complicated and deadly. He was a father, a son, a brother, a friend, a pastor. And he did not deserve to die. He did not deserve to be shot in the eye in front of his daughter. He did not deserve to spend his last moments unlocking a car door so his child could escape. He did not deserve to become a hashtag, a debate, a Facebook war. Pastor Green deserved to grow old. To see his daughter graduate. To walk her down the aisle. To keep preaching, keep giving hugs, keep showing up. He deserved the chance to heal, to leave, to start over somewhere safe. He deserved to be believed when he was suffering. He deserved help. But he didn't get that. And now his daughter lives without him. His family buries him. His church finds a new pastor. Montgomery reckons with the fact that a good man died because domestic violence doesn't discriminate. If you're in an abusive relationship, if you're a man suffering in silence because you don't think anyone will believe you, if you're scared to leave or don't know how, you're not alone. Help exists. National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-7233. Available 24/7. They don't care about your gender. They care that you're safe. Text START to 88788 if you can't call. Visit thehotline.org. The hotline serves all victims regardless of gender. There are support groups, counselors, advocates who understand that men can be victims too. That abuse doesn't always leave visible bruises. That manipulation and control are just as damaging as physical violence. If someone you love shows signs of abuse, isolation from family, losing jobs, personality changes, making excuses for their partner, say something. Don't wait. Don't assume they're fine because they're strong or male or because they smile in public. Green smiled. Green gave hugs. And Green still died. Men can be victims. Men deserve to be believed. Men deserve safety, support, and the chance to escape before it's too late. Pastor Dequarius Green didn't get that chance. But you can. If this story moved you, if you believe every victim deserves to be heard, hit that subscribe button right now. Turn on notifications. Share this video. Share Green's story. Let his death mean something. Let it open eyes. Let it save lives. Leave a comment. Tell us what you think. Tell us your story if you feel safe. Let's create a space where people can speak truth without shame, where men can admit they're hurting, where survivors can find each other. This is the Crime Exposed. We tell the stories that need to be told. And Pastor Dequarius Green's story needed to be told. Rest in peace, Pastor Green. You did not deserve to die. But we'll make sure your story doesn't die with you. Until next time, stay safe. Stay aware. And if you see something, say something. Because the life you save might be someone's father, someone's son, someone's hero.